Hush! Never tell me! I take it much unkindly that thou, Iago, who hast had my purse as though the strings were thine, shouldst know of this.
Zoons, but you'll not hear me. If ever I did dream of such a matter, abhor me.
Thou toldst me thou didst hold him in thy hate.
Despise me if I do not. 3 great ones of the city in personal suit to make me his lieutenant, off cap to him. By the faith of man, I know my price. I am worth no worse a place. But he, in loving his own pride and purposes, evades them with a bombast circumstance, horribly stuffed with epithets of war. None suits my mediators, for certes, says he, I have already chose my officer. And what was he? Forsooth, a great arithmetician, Juan Michael Cassio, a Florentine, who never set a squadron in the field, or the division of a battle knows more than a spinster. Mere prattle without practice is all his soldiership, yet he, sir, hath the election. And I, of whom his eyes had seen the proof at Rhodes, at Cyprus, and on other grounds, Christian and heathen, must be belied and calmed by debitor and creditor. This countercaster, he in good time must his lieutenant be, and I, God bless the Marquis Moorship's ensign.
By heaven, I rather would have been his hangman.
Well, there's no remedy. 'Tis the curse of service. Preferment goes by letter and affection, not by the old gradation where each second stood heir to the first. Now, sir, be judge yourself, whether I, in any just term, am a find to love the more.
I would not follow him then.
Oh, sir, content you. I follow him to serve my turn upon him. We cannot all be masters, nor all masters cannot be truly followed. You shall mark many a knee-crooking knave who, doting on his own obsequious bondage, wears out his time much like his master's ass for naught but provender. And when he's old, cashiered. Whip me such honest knaves. Others there are, who, trimmed in form and visages of duty, keep yet their hearts attending on themselves, and when they have lined their coats, do themselves homage. Now these fellows have some soul, and such a one do I profess myself. For, sir, it is as sure as you are Rodrigo. Were I the Moor, I would not be Iago. I am not what I am.
What a full fortune does the thick lip sow if he can carry it thus.
Call up her father. Rouse him. Poison his delight. Proclaim him in the streets. Incense her kinsman, and though he in a fertile climate dwell, plague him with flies.
Oh, here's her father's house. I'll call aloud.
Do, with like timorous accent and dire yell, as when by night and negligence the fire is spied in populous cities.
Brabantio! Signor Brabantio!
Awake! What ho, Brabantio! Thieves! Thieves! Look to your house, your daughter, and your bags! Thieves!
What ho,
thieves!
Signor Brabantio! Ho!
What's the matter there? What is the reason for this terrible summons?
Signor, is all your family within?
Are your doors locked?
Why? Wherefore ask you this?
Soon, sir, you are robbed. Oh, for shame. Put on your gown. Your heart is burst. You have lost half your soul. Even now, very now, an old black ram is tapping your white ewe. Arise, arise, I say. Awake the snorting citizens with the bell, or the devil will make a grandsire of you. Arise, I say.
What? Have you lost your wits?
Most grave Brabantio, do you know my voice?
Not I. What art thou?
My name is Rodrigo.
Thou wert so welcome. I have charged thee not to haunt about my doors.
Sir.
In honest plainness thou hast heard me say, my daughter is not for thee.
Sir.
And now, in madness, being full of supper and distempering draughts, thou comest upon malicious knavery to start my quiet.
Sir.
But thou must needs know I have it within my spirit and place to make this bitter to thee.
Patience, good sir.
What tellest thou me of robbing? This is Venice. My house is not a grange.
Grave Brabantio, in simple and pure soul I come to you.
You are one of those that would not serve God if the devil bid you. Because we come to do you service, and you think we are ruffians, you'll have your daughter covered by a Barbary horse. You'll have your nephews nay to you. You'll have courses for cousins and jennets for Germans.
What profane wretch art thou?
I am one, sir, that comes to tell you your daughter
answer. I know thee, Roderigo.
I will answer anything. But if it be your patience and most wise respect that your fair daughter, at this odd, even, and dull watch of the night, be transported, with no better nor worse a guard, but with a knave of common hire, a gondolier to the gross clasps of a lascivious Moor. If this be known to you, and your allowance, we then have done you bold and saucy wrongs. But if you know not this, my manners tell me we have your wrong rebuke. Your daughter, if you have not given her leave, I say again, hath made a gross revolt, tying her duty, beauty, wit, and fortunes to an extravagant and wheeling stranger of here and everywhere. In her bedchamber. Straight, satisfy yourself. If she be in your house or her chamber, let loose upon me the justice of the state for thus deluding you.
Strike the tinder hole. Give me a taper. This accident is not unlike my dream. Belief of it oppresses me already. Light, I say, light!
Farewell, for I must leave you. It seems not meet nor wholesome to my place to be produced as if I stay I shall against the Moor. I do hate him as I do hell pains. Yet for necessity of present life, I must show out a flag and sign of love, which is indeed but sign. That you shall surely find him. Lead to the sagittary the raised search, and there will I be with him. So farewell.
Gone she is. It is too true an evil. And what's to come of my despised time is naught but bitterness. Now, Roderigo, where didst thou see her? Oh, unhappy girl. With the Moor, sayest thou? Oh, who would be a father? What said she to you? How didst thou know 'twas she? Oh, she deceives me past thought. Raise all my kindred. Get more tapers. Are they married, think you?
Oh, truly, I think they are.
Heavens! How got she out? Oh, treason of the blood. Fathers from hence, trust not your daughters' minds by what you see them act. Is there not charms by which the property of youth and maidhood may be abused? Have you not read, Roderigo, of some such thing?
Yes, sir, I have indeed.
Call up my brother. Oh, would you had had her. Some one way, some another. Do you know where we may apprehend her and the Moor?
I think I can discover him if you will please to get good guard and go along with me.
Pray you, lead on, Roderigo. At every house I'll stop. I may command at most. Get weapons, ho! Call up some special officer of might. Pray you, lead on. I'll deserve your pains, Roderigo.
Though in the trade of war I have slain men, yet do I hold it the very stuff of the conscience to do no contrived murder. I lack iniquity sometimes to do me service. 9 or 10 times I thought to have yerked him here under the ribs.
It's better as it is.
Hey, but he prated and spoke such scurvy and provoking terms against your honor. With what little godliness I have, I did full hard forbear him. I pray you, sir, are you fast married? Be you assured of this. The Magnifico is well beloved, and hath in his effect a voice potential as double as the Duke's. He will divorce you, or put upon you what restraint or grievance the law with all his might to enforce it on will give him cable.
Let him do his spite. My services, which I've done the Signore, shall out-tongue his complaints. 'Tis yet to know which, when I know that boasting is an honor, I shall promulgate. I fetch my life and being from men of royal siege, and my demerits may speak unbonneted to as proud a fortune as this that I've reached. For no, Iago, but that I love the gentle Desdemona, I would not my unhoused free condition put into circumscription and confined for the sea's worth. Look what lights come yon.
This is the raised father and his friend. You had best go in.
Not I. I must be found. My parts, my title, and my perfect soul shall manifest me rightly. Is it they?
By Janus, I think no.
The servants of the Duke and my lieutenant. The goodness of the night upon you, friends. What is the news?
The Duke does greet you, General, and he requires your haste post-haste appearance even on the instant.
What is the matter, think you?
Something from Cyprus, as I may divine. It is a business of some heat. The galleys have sent a dozen sequent messengers this very night at one another's heels, and many of the councils raised and met are at the Duke's already. You have been hotly called for, and being not at your lodging to be found, the Senate hath sent about 3 several quests to search you out.
It's well I'm found by you. I will but spend a word here in the house and go with you.
Ensign, what makes he here?
Faith, he tonight hath boarded a land, Carrack. If it prove lawful prize, he's made forever.
I do not understand.
He's married.
To who?
Married to... Come, Captain, will you go?
I'm with you.
Here comes another troop to seek for you.
It is Brabantio. General, be advised he comes to bad intent.
Hola, stand there.
Senor, it is the Moor.
Down with him, thief.
You, Roderigo, come, sir. I am for you.
Keep up your bright swords, or the dew will rust you. Senor, you shall more command with years than with your weapons.
Foul thief. Where hast thou stowed my daughter? Damned as thou art, thou hast enchanted her. For I'll refer me to all things of sense. Whether she in chains of magic were not bound, if a maid so tender, fair, and happy, so opposite to marriage, that she did shun the wealthy curled darlings of our nation, would ever have to incur a general mock, run from her guardage to the sooty bosom of such a thing as thou, to fear, not to delight. That thou hast practiced on her with foul charms, 'tis probable and palpable the thinking. Therefore I do apprehend thee, and attach thee as an abuser of the world, a practicer of arts inhibited, and out of warrant. Lay hold on him. If he do resist, subdue him at his peril.
Hold your hands. Both you of mine planning and the rest. Were it my cue to fight, I should have known it without a prompter. Whither would you that I go to answer this your charge?
To prison, till fit time and direct session, call thee to answer.
What if I do obey? How may the Duke be therewith satisfied, whose messengers are here about my side, upon some present business of the state, to bring me to him?
Now, the Duke in council, and this time of night?
True, most worthy senor. The Duke's in council, and your noble self, I'm sure, is sent for.
Bring him away. Mine's not an idle cause. The Duke himself, or any of my brothers of the state, cannot but feel this wrong as 'twere their own. Or if such actions may have passage free, bond slaves and pagan shall our statesmen be.
There is no composition in these news that gives them credit.
Indeed, they are disproportioned. My letters say 107 galleys.
And mine 140.
And mine 200. But though they jumped out on a just account, in these cases where that with AIM reports this off, what's difference?
Yet do they all confirm a Turkish fleet and bearing up to Cyprus.
Nay, it is possible enough to judgment. I do not so secure me in the error, but the main article I do approve, in fearful sense.
What ho, what ho?
Verciano,
Message from the galleys.
Now, what's the business?
The Turkish preparation makes for Rome. So was I bid report here to the state by Senior Angelo.
How say you by this charge?
This cannot be by no essay of reason. 'Tis a pageant to keep us in false gaze. When we consider the importance of Cyprus to the Turk, and let ourselves again but understand that as it more concerns the Turk in roads.
We must not think the Turk is so unskillful to leave that latest which concerns him first, neglecting an attempt of ease and gain, to wake and wage a danger profitless.
Nay, in all confidence, he's not for Rhodes.
Here's more news.
The Ottomites, Reverend and Gracious, steering with due course toward the Isle of Rhodes, have there enjointed them with an after fleet.
So I thought.
How many, as you guess?
30 sail, and now they do restem their backward course, bearing with frank appearance their purposes towards Cyprus. Cyprus! Signor Montano, your trusty and most valiant servitor, with his free duty recommends you thus, and prays you to believe him.
Now, 'tis certain then for Cyprus. Marcus Lusicus, is not he in town?
He's now in Florence.
Write from us to him. Post haste dispatch.
Here comes the valiant Moor.
Valiant Othello, we must straight employ you against the general enemy Ottoman. I did not see you. Welcome, gentle signor. We lacked your counsel and your help tonight.
So did I yours. Good your grace, pardon me. Neither my place nor aught I heard of business hath raised me from my bed, nor doth a general care take hold of me. My particular grief is of so floodgate and o'erbearing nature that it ingluts and swallows other sorrows, and it is still itself.
Hey, what's the matter?
My daughter, oh my daughter.
Head?
Aye, to me. She is abused, stolen from me, corrupted by spells and medicines bought of mountebanks. For nature so preposterously to err, being not deficient, blind, or lame of sense, sans witchcraft could not.
Whoe'er he be, that in this foul proceeding hath thus beguiled your daughter of herself, and you of her, the bloody book of law you shall yourself read in the bitter letter, after your own sense. Yea, though our proper son stood in your action.
Humbly I thank your grace. Here is the man. This Moor, whom now it seems your special mandate for state affairs hath hither brought.
We are very sorry for him.
What in your own part can you say to this?
Nothing, but this is so.
This beggars all reason.
Most potent, grave, and reverend signors, my very noble and approved good masters, that I have ta'en away this old man's daughter, it is most true.
Nay.
True, I have married her. The very head and front of my offending hath this extent, no more. Rude am I in my speech, and little blessed with the soft phrase of peace. For since these arms of mine had 7 years' pith, till now so 9 moons wasted, they've used their dearest action in the tented field. And little of this great world can I speak, more than pertains to feats of broil, battle. Therefore, little shall I grace my cause in speaking for myself. Yet, by your gracious patience, I will a round, unvarnished tale deliver of my whole course of love. What drugs, what charms, what conjuration, and what mighty magic. For such proceeding am I charged withal. I won his daughter.
A maiden never bold, of spirit so still and quiet that her motion blushed at herself, and she, in spite of nature, of herself, of country credit, everything, to fall in love with what she feared to look on. It is a judgment made, and most imperfect, that will confess perfection so could err against all rules of nature, and must be driven to find out practices of cunning hell why this is so. I therefore vouch again that with some mixture powerful o'er the blood, or with some drams conjured to this effect, he wrought upon her.
To vouch this is no proof, without more certain and more overt test, than these thin habits and poor likelihoods of modern seeming do prefer against him.
But, Othello, speak. Did you, with indirect and forced courses, subdue and poison this young maid's affections, or came it by request, and such fair question as soul to soul afforded?
I do beseech you, send for the lady to the secretary, and let her speak of me before a father. If you do find me foul in her report, the trust, the office I do hold of you, not only take away, but let your sentence even fall upon my life.
Fetch Desdemona hither.
Ensign, conduct them. You best know the place. And till she come, as truly as to heaven I do confess the vices of my blood, so justly to your grave ears I'll present how I did thrive in this fair lady's love, and she in mine.
Say it, Othello.
Father loved me. oft invited me. Still questioning the story of my life from year to year. Battles, sieges, fortunes that I passed. I ran it through, even from my boyish days to the very moment that he bade me tell it. Wherein I spake of most disastrous chances, of moving accidents by flood and field, of hairbreadth escapes in the imminent deadly breach, of being taken by the insolent foe, sold to slavery, of my redemption thence, and portents in my traveller's history, wherein of Antros vast, deserts idle, rough quarries, rocks, and hills whose heads touch heaven. It was my hint to speak. Such was the process. And of the cannibals that each other eat, the anthropophagi, and men whose heads do grow beneath their shoulders. This to hear were Desdemona seriously inclined, but still the house affairs would draw her thence, whichever as she could with haste dispatch. She'd come again, and with a greedy ear devour up my discourse, which I observing, took once a pliant hour, and found good means to draw from her a prayer of earnest heart, that I would all my pilgrimage dilate, whereof by parcels had something heard, but not attentively. I did consent, and often did beguile her of her tears when I did speak of some distressful stroke that my youth suffered. My story being done, she gave me for my pains a world of sighs. She swore, in faith, 'twas strange, 'twas passing strange, 'twas pitiful, 'twas wondrous pitiful. She wished she had not heard it, and yet she wished that heaven had made her such a man. She thanked me and bade me, if I had a friend that loved her, I should but teach him how to tell my story, and that would woo her. Upon this hint I speak. She loved me for the dangers I passed, and I loved her that she did pity them. This only is the witchcraft I have used.
I think this tale would win my daughter too. Good Brabantio, take up this mangled matter at the best. Men do their broken weapons rather use.
Here comes the lady. Let her witness it.
I pray you hear her speak. If she confesses she was half the wooer, destruction on my head if my bad blame light on the man. Come hither, gentle mistress. Do you perceive in all this noble company where most you owe obedience?
My noble father, I do perceive here a divided duty. To you I am bound for life and education. My life and education both do learn me how to respect you. You are the lord of duty. I am hitherto your daughter. But here's my husband, and so much duty as my mother showed to you, preferring you before her father, so much I challenge that I may profess, due to the more, my lord.
God be with you. I have done. I pray you on to the state affairs. I would rather adopt a child than get it. Come hither more. I here do give thee that with all my heart, which but thou hast already, with all my heart I would keep from thee. For thy sake, Jewel, I am glad at soul I have no other child, for thy escape would teach me tyranny, to hang clogs on them. I have done, my lord.
Let me speak like yourself. and lay a sentence which as a grease or step may help these lovers into your favor. And remedies are past, the griefs are ended, by seeing the worst which late on hopes depended. To mourn a mischief that is past and gone is the next way to draw new mischief on. What cannot be preserved when fortune takes? Patience. Her injury a mockery makes. The rob that smiles steals something from the thief. He robs himself that spends a bootless grief.
So let the Turks of Cyprus us beguile. We lose it not, so long as we can smile. These sentences, to sugar or to gall, being strong on both sides, are equivocal. But words are words. I never yet did hear that the bruised heart was healed through the ear. I humbly beseech you, proceed to the affairs of state.
The Turk, with the most mighty preparation, makes for Cyprus. Othello, the fortitude of the place is best known to you. And though we have there a substitute of most allowed sufficiency, yet opinion, a sovereign mistress of effects, throws a more safer voice on you. You must therefore be content to slubber the gloss of your new fortunes with this more stubborn and boisterous expedition.
The tyrant custom, most grave senators, hath made the flinty and steel couch of war my thrice-striven bed of down. I do acknowledge the natural and prompt alacrity I find in hardness, and do undertake these present wars against the Ottomites. Most humbly, therefore, bending to your state, I crave fit disposition for my wife, due reference of place and exhibition, with such accommodation and resort as levels with her breeding.
If you please, be it at her father's.
I will not have it so.
Nor I.
Nor I. I would not there reside to put my father in impatient thoughts by being in his eye. Most gracious Duke, to my unfolding lend your prosperous ear, and let me find a charter in your voice to assist my simpleness.
What would you, Desdemona?
That I did love the more to live with him. My downright violence and storm of fortunes made trumpet to the world, my heart subdued, even to the very quality of my lord. I saw Othello's visage in his mind, and to his honors and his valiant parts did I my soul and fortunes consecrate. So that, dear lords, if I be left behind, a moth of peace, and he go to the war, the rights for which I love him are bereft me, and I a heavy interim shall support by his dear absence. Let me go with him.
Let her have your voices. Vouch with me, heaven. I therefore beg it not to please the palate of my appetite, nor to comply with heat, the young affectionately defunct, but to be free and bounteous to her mind. And heaven defend your good souls that you think I will your great and serious business scant, for she is with me.
Be it as you shall privately determine, either for her stay or going. The affair cries haste, and speed must answer it. You must hence tonight.
Tonight, my lord.
This night.
With all my heart.
At 9 in the morning, here we'll meet again. Othello, leave some officer behind, and he shall our commission bring to you, with such things else of quality and respect as doth import you.
So please your grace, my ensign, a man he is of honesty and trust. To his conveyance I assign my wife, with what else needful your good grace shall think to be sent after me.
Let it be so. Good night to everyone. And noble senior, if virtue no delighted beauty lack, your son-in-law is far more fair than black.
That you're a brave Moor. Use Desdemona well.
Look to her more, if thou hast eyes to see. She has deceived her father, and may thee.
My life upon her faith. Honest Iago, my Desdemona must I leave to thee. I pray thee, let thy wife attend on her, and bring them after her in the best advantage. Desdemona, I have the power of love, of worldly matters and direction to spin with thee. We must obey the time.
Oh, Iago. What will I do, thinkst thou?
Why, go to bed and sleep.
I will incontinently drown myself.
If thou dost, I will never love thee after. Why, thou silly gentleman?
It is silliness to live when to live is torment. Then have we prescription to die when death is our physician.
Oh, villainous. I have looked upon this world for 6 times 7 years. And since I could distinguish betwixt a benefit and an injury, I never knew man who knew how to love himself. Ere I would say I would drown myself for the love of a guinea hen, I would change my humanity with a baboon.
What should I do? I confess it is my shame to be so fond, but it is not my virtue to amend it.
Virtue? A fig. 'Tis in ourselves that we are thus or thus. Our bodies are our gardens, to the which our wills are gardeners, so that if we will plant nettles or sow lettuce, set hyssop or weed up thyme, supply it with one gender of herb or distract it with many, either to make it sterile with idleness or manured with industry. Why, the power and corrigible authority of all this lies in our wills. If the balance of our lives had not one scale of reason to poise another of sensuality, why, the blood and baseness of our natures would conduct us to the most preposterous conclusions. But we have reason to cool our raging motions, our carnal stings, our unbitted lusts, whereof I take this that you call love to be a sect or scion.
It cannot be!
It is merely a lust of the blood and a permission of the will. Come, be a man. Drown thyself. Drown cats and blind puppies. I have professed me thy friend, and I confess me knit to thy deserving with cables of perdurable toughness. I can never better stead thee than now. Put money in thy purse. Follow thou these wars. Defeat thy favor with a usurped beard. I say, put money in thy purse. It cannot be long that Desdemona shall continue her love to the Moor. Put money in thy purse, nor he his to her. It was a violent commencement in her, and thou shalt see an answerable sequestration. Put but money in thy purse. These Moors are changeable in their wills. Fill thy purse with money. The food that to him now is as luscious as locusts will be to him shortly as bitter as coloquindita. She must change for youth. When she is sated with his body, she will see the errors of her choice. She must change. She must, therefore, put money in thy purse. If thou needst damn thyself, do it a more delicate way than drowning. Make all the money thou canst. If sanctimony and a frail vow between an erring barbarian and a super-subtle Venetian be not too hard for my wits and all the tribe of hell, thou shalt enjoy her. Therefore make money. A pox on drowning thyself. It is clean out of the way. Seek thou rather to be hanged, encompassing thy joy, than to be drowned and go without her.
Wilt thou be fast to my hopes if I depend on the issue?
You can be sure of me. Go, make money. I have told thee often, and I retell thee again and again, I hate the Moor. My cause is hearted, thine hath no less reason. Let us be conjunctive in our revenge against him. If you can cuckold him, thou dost thyself a pleasure, me a sport. There are many events in the womb of time which will be delivered. Traverse, go. Provide thy money. We will have more of this tomorrow. Adieu.
Where shall we meet in the morning?
At my lodgings.
I'll be with thee betime.
Go to, farewell. Rodrigo, do you hear?
What say you?
No more of drowning.
I am changed. I'll go sell all my land.
Thus do I ever make my fool my purse. For I mine own gained knowledge should profane, if I would time expend with such snipe, but for my sport and profit. I hate the Moor. It is thought abroad that twixt my sheets he has done my office. I know not if it be true, but I for mere suspicion in that kind would do as if for surety. he holds me well, the better shall my purpose work on him. Cassio, the proper man. Let me see now. To get his place and to plume up my will in double knavery, how? Let's see. After a time, to abuse Othello's ears, that Cassio's too familiar with his wife. He hath a person and a smooth dispose to be suspected, framed to make women false. The Moor is of a free and open nature, that thinks men honest that but seem to be so, and will as tenderly be led by the nose as asses are. I have it. It is engendered. Hell and night must bring this monstrous earth.